Hello there, and welcome to Live with the Paper Pixie, episode 310. I'm Julie DiMatteo, coming to you live from Alpharetta, Georgia. Today is Wednesday, December 13th. I'm about 5 minutes late because once again, I had to reboot and we actually just finished dinner. So I'm waiting. Brian hasn't quite joined the chat yet. He'll be here in just a moment or two. I hope you guys are doing well. I cannot believe it is the middle of December. Many of you are probably already ready for the holidays. I never am. There's never enough time in the month of December, is there? So tonight's project is actually what I have slated to give as a teacher gift, I believe. It is an Accordion gift card pocket folder is what I'm calling it. I will show you when I flip the screen what it looks like, but it's a little folder that actually has 4 pockets in it. You could put 4 gift cards, you could put 4 pieces of cash, you could put a note card and 3 gift cards, you could put photos, you could put a bunch of little note cards. So that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. I was working on that a lot today because I wanted to try to pixify something I had in my mind and come up with something fun for you tonight, especially for those of you that still have some gift cards to give possibly for the holidays. As you're rolling on in, if you're watching us live, say hello and where you're watching from. If you're new here, let us know in the chat and my amazing audience will welcome you. I also want to welcome my YouTube channel members. You'll see a little icon next to their name. They've supported the channel each month. We've got our next Pixie Patron live stream is next Thursday, December 22nd? No, December 21st. I can't do the math. Anyways, if you've got a question for me tonight, be sure to put a Q in front of that question. That will make sure that your question makes it into my queue when I do the live Q&A at the end of tonight's live stream. I do try to focus on the demonstration, so I'm not always watching the chat. I do always read all of your chat messages after the live stream, so thank you for those of you participating in the chat. If you'd like to participate in the chat, you just have to log into your Google account. And then you'll be able to participate in the chat. So let's see, questions, what's next? When you shop with me, you earn Pixie Perks on orders of $25 or more. All you need to do is use my magic shopping link, thepaperpixie.com/shop, and that will make sure you're shopping with me. Also add or auto-magically add my current host code. If your order is going to be $150 or more, you want to remove the host code or don't add the host code. You're going to earn Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up, but you'll also earn Pixie Perks from me. Couple of things going on this week. I did open up sign up for my product shares. I've got that linked in the description. If you aren't already on my product shares email list, that sign up for product shares will be open through January 2nd. That's the deadline to sign up. We also have the last chance products. Those are products available while supplies last. Retiring from the current mini catalog, the September to December mini catalog. Those are while supplies last through January 3rd. If you've shopped with me since June 1st, you got a special email from me to request your copy of the mini catalog. I should receive those catalogs either tomorrow or Friday, the minis, and I will, Team DiMatteo will get those packaged up as quickly as we can to try to get them out in the mail early next week. So, what else? If you're looking for a last minute gift for a crafty friend, I do have some adhesive kits available. You can find that link in the description as well. And then big news, tomorrow, December 14th, Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping tomorrow only on orders of $75 or more. So it's a great day to take advantage of the prepaid paper pumpkin kits. Typically when you purchase the prepaid paper pumpkin kits, that's a lot of peas. You also get shipping tacked onto that. So if you purchase either the 6-month or the 12-month, no shipping because those are over $75. That's a great thing to add on a free shipping day. Even the 3-month shipping, you can just add something for like another $4 or $5 and get free shipping on that as well. So that is tomorrow only, December 14th from midnight Mountain Time till 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. So that's the scoop there. And I do plan to do a sneak peek of the upcoming mini catalog products, but I got to get myself organized first. Kids have school through Friday and then they're home for 2 weeks. So it's just the mad craziness. But yeah, I do plan to do a sneak peek. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel and click all notifications, because then you'll get a notification when I schedule that live stream. All right, so that's the scoop. There's my mouse and my keyboard. Here is the project we're doing tonight. I do also have some quick show and tell as well. But here's a quick sneak peek. This is my sample. You'll notice my stockings are upside down. So I learned something while I created this. We won't make that mistake on tonight's project, or at least I hope not. I got my little Costco card there because I could only find 2 gift cards, but this is the Accordion gift card pocket folder, and it is designed just like, if you remember pockets from back in the day when you were in school, or if you've got kids or grandkids that are school age. I've got those finished edges there that look just like pockets, or just like a pocket folder, and 3 gift cards and a note card. You could put 4 gift cards. This note card is just a really simple to write a note. Also, this would be cute with maybe wallet photos, even just putting 4 separate note cards, cash as well. So that's kind of a fun gift card holder. Again, gift cards are great for the Christmas holidays, but also any time of year, especially birthdays as well. So that's what we're gonna make tonight. Now, I've got a couple of show and tell. Let me show you. These are cards I've gotten in the mail in the last week. I do need to stop by my mailbox to get some additional cards I've seen that y'all have sent me. We have this beautiful card from my customer Wanda Beers. I love this with the wink of Stella on there. This is my favorite suite in the outgoing mini catalog. This card is from my team member Linda. I love the gold she put on that box. Just a beautiful touch there. This is from Cindy Evans, and wow, look at that. I don't think she did brayering, the blending brushes, but isn't that beautiful with that star there? I love that. The clear heat embossing, super beautiful. This was a birthday card for Brian. Brian's birthday was back in November. That's from Vicky. Thank you, thank you. And then this one is from Carla. Isn't that beautiful? That is a bundle from last Christmas, but beautiful card. So thank you guys. I love the Happy Mail. All right. Deanna, just when I think I've seen them all, Julie comes up with something wonderful. You're so sweet. Usually it's necessity for me, especially this time of year. I'm always looking for things for the bus driver and the kids' teachers, etc. So I thought this would be a fun thing to put in a couple of gift cards to different places for them. So all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I, believe it or not, have a link to the project sheet in the description. I didn't think I was going to do it because of the fact that I had the paper upside down, but I took a picture of the inside because the stockings look right on the inside. So that is linked in the description. You can grab that after the stream. It's just a 1-page free PDF download to help you make this project on your own. So we're going to start with a half sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper. Now, if you're going to make multiples of these, you could do the score lines first on a full 12 by 12 and then cut it in half and have 2 pockets. I've got Brian sitting over here because I have my pre-order stuff is in his spot. So you just holler if you need me, Kay. So a half sheet 6 by 12. And for this one, we're using the Traditions of St. Nick. Now I am laughing at myself because the stamp set I used, I think it's called Above It All, it's sold out. It was part of the last chance list, and that's what happens when you check right before you go live. But I know you guys have plenty of holiday greetings as well. All right, yay, perfect for your mail, Lady Yvette. I love to hear that. So I recommend on this project that if you are going to use a directional paper, you want the directional paper to be the inside of your pocket folder, okay? Don't do what I did here, having it on the outside, because what happens is on one side your pattern is going to be upside down and the other side it will be right side up. So in this instance, you want to make sure that if it's a directional pattern, you want that to be the inside of your folder, and you want to cut the 6 by 12 to landscape, and that just means the orientation of the directional pattern, all right? So let me bring in the Simply Scored. All right, let's see. I see that question. Did you grab if you could make it with only 2 pockets? Is there a Q in front of that one? All right, so along the, let me make sure I do this right. Okay, so we've got our directional pattern. I'm gonna turn it this way and this way. Okay, so if I flip my paper this way, my direction is going from right to left. We want that, the directional side. Again, this is so much easier if you pick a double-sided paper that both sides are not directional. I know this one is technically directional, but it could go either way. So again, let me repeat that. From right to left is the pattern, but I'm gonna put that on the back side. So the first score line we're gonna do along the 6-inch side is gonna be at 2 inches, okay? Then I'm going to turn it to the long side, and we're gonna go ahead and score this at 1/2 inch and 3 1/4. So 1/2 inch, 3 1/4. Then I'm gonna rotate it 180 and repeat those 2 score lines. So 1/2 inch and 3 1/4. Okay. And then I'm gonna flip to the opposite side and we're gonna score at 6. So I'm gonna repeat that one more time. We've got our, if it's directional, we want that to be on the back side for the first score line. And again, going from right to left, flip it, and we're gonna score at 2. Then we're gonna turn it to the long side, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch and 3 1/4 from both sides, so 1/2 inch, 3 1/4. Then I'm gonna flip it to the opposite side and score at 6. And that's just because the direction we're gonna be folding all of our pieces and parts, all right? All right, so now we just wanna pay attention to which side the score lines are on. So we've got valley score lines we're gonna turn into mountain folds, all right? So those 1/2 inch ones, I'm gonna go ahead and fold this way. Oh, I've missed something in the chat. Deanna, I'm sorry for your loss. All right, so folding on, it's always a hard time of year. I unfortunately know it all too well. Lost my mom on December 5th and her birthday was December 15th. 26 years ago, believe it or not. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is fold on that 2-inch score line. Again, we scored on the green side, so we're gonna turn that into a mountain fold. Okay, so both the sides and the bottom, that 2-inch one, those are gonna fold in the same direction, okay? Now what I like to do for this part, or for the next folding and burnishing, is to fold up that 2-inch score line. These are our pockets, but then we're gonna pay attention to, don't pay attention to the score lines on the green, because remember, we folded that up, so they're gonna look like, that's gonna look like a valley score line. We wanna pay attention to the direction of what's on the stockings, okay? So the middle one, we're gonna fold away. I like to do this with that 2-inch section folded up. And that just basically, so we can tell the paper who's boss and where we want it to go. Okay, so that middle one we folded, turned it into a mountain fold. These two we're gonna turn into valley folds. And I'm just kind of taking my time lining up these right and left edges here and burnish. And I'll show you what this looks like from the profile side. If you're watching this on replay, you can absolutely pause to see what that looks like. So this is basically the inside of our folder, and that is the direction that our score lines go. So the middle one is a mountain, and the one on either side are valley, okay? And don't really worry about these 1/2-inch ones. Those are both technically valley folds as well. We're gonna go ahead and do some trimming and cutting for those, okay? So again, we're in good shape because I didn't use a directional pattern. Okay, it's a little bit directional, but the outside is different than the way I did this one because I got my stockings upside down. As you can see, it's totally opposite there. okay? But we made sure that our stockings were going the right direction in our folder. All right, now let me bring in the template. So we're going to be cutting these little 1/2-inch sections along the sides like so. And I'm going to start by pulling this 2-inch section down. I'm going to cut up each of the vertical score lines right in from the edge and stop at the first horizontal score line there. And for these, it's simpler if you cut away the score line completely. And I will show you why. Actually, hold on a second. Before we make that cut, we need to make this little cut here, and it's easiest to do it with that pocket folded up, okay? Because we don't have a score line here, but I want to put this little miter cut here. I'm going to use basically this edge of that pocket that we folded up as my guide for cutting in just to that first score line. So we just added this little cut there on the side, okay? And it's easiest to do that before we trim away this lower corner. If we do that, then we don't have something to give us a guide, okay? It's not the end of the world. The paper would stop here and you'd be able to kind of guesstimate there. So then we're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Just make that little cut to the score line there. So basically we have these 3 kind of 2-inch sections, all right? So we made those little slits first. Now we can come in and remove these lower rectangles. And I know this is a little difficult to see, maybe easier on the green side or the mossy meadow side. I'm going to come in and cut right up just to the left, I should say, of the score line. We want to remove the score line completely. Then I'm going to come in as I remove it, do a little miter cut there. So just a little bit of an angle cut there at the top, okay? And whichever side of this pattern is easiest for you to see, sometimes the darker colors are easier. So again, I'm going to cut just to the inside of that score line, basically removing the score line. Come in and miter cut and remove that lower corner. Okay, so we've got those 2 lower corner rectangles taken away. Now we're going to come in and miter cut on either side of that little slit we cut, and then right here at the top. So again, probably easier for you to see on the green side. I'm just going to miter cut on either side of that slit we made. And then right here at the top. Just gives it kind of a nice, gives it that folder look, but also just gives it a nice finish. Okay, so you can see those there. We're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side, miter cutting on either side of that slit we made, and then the top here. Get those pieces cleaned up. All right. So let me just flip this over so you can see what we did there, like that, on either side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is folding up our pockets again. These tabs are going to fold over the pocket here on the lower part. So we're going to fold it over here, and then we're just going to glue that to the top. That'll give it that nice folded edge. Now, if you're finding that this little tab is fighting you a little bit, come on in and just cut another little sliver off this section here. It's just because that edge of the paper is just getting in the way of that tab. There we go. That's going to lay flat now. So dry fit them both. Again, this one could use a little haircut as well. The great thing about the paper snips is you can just shave off just a little. Look at it, curls. That's how tiny of a trim I gave that. So again, fold it up and just make sure, there we go, that's gonna fold flat there, okay? So the template is on the project sheet for your reference. You can see where we're removing and where we're adding miter cuts. Again, just remember, fold up the pocket to do those side slits first, and then that will give you an easier time there. All right, now liquid glue. We're gonna go ahead and just apply liquid glue. I'm gonna do one side at a time, right on these tabs. And try to be really light-handed here because otherwise the glue is going to ooze everywhere. Tear and tape works for this as well if you want to do that, okay? My recommendation if you're going to use tear and tape is to save you a little bit of time, put the tear and tape down first before you do the miter cuts. That'll just save you, okay? So I put liquid glue on both of those tabs there, and then I'm just going to fold those down and into place to create that folder look, okay? And I'm just going to give them a few seconds to adhere. You can come in and burnish to smooth that glue out or spread the glue out. And if you get any adhesive that oozes out, I love the adhesive eraser. I think I've got this linked on my favorites page. Just grab it off Amazon for a couple bucks, okay? It does wonders. You do want to wait till the adhesive is mostly dry. And the best part is when it's completely dry and it'll just rub right off with that adhesive eraser. So we're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite tabs. Like so. And just fold those both down at the same time. All right. And then I'll just smooth out the glue there. And there we've got our little pocket edges. Now, because we've got the adhesive here on the ends, and because these are folded, we now have the 4 pockets. It's really technically one long pocket. There's no need to add any additional adhesive though. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and come in and just burnish a little bit more to get this to lay a little bit more flat. Again, we've got paper kind of going against the way that it wants to go. So you'll see that's kind of popping up. So it really did need kind of a belly band type booklet thing. So that's what we will do next. I do want to show you, I don't know if I have a sample. This is loosely based off of an 8 pocket folder using a full sheet of 12 by 12. There's a way to cut it. Basically, you do the similar score lines. Now, the one that I was following on Pinterest didn't have these little side edges, so it's totally pixified. But I thought 8 pockets was a little much, especially for gift cards. But you could absolutely do an 8 pocket one as well. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and bring in a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. I want to make sure that this is the right size. Let me double check that. Yes. All right. So forgive me. This one does have a 1/16 of an inch measurement, but that is to make sure that this fits properly around the pocket folder. And this keeps the score lines to those 1/8 of an inch increments. So this piece of cherry cobbler is 2 3/4 by 9 11/16, which is just 1/16 less than 9 3/4. Okay, so go to 9 3/4 and then bring it back a notch on your paper trimmer, and that will be 9 11/16. So we're going to go ahead and score this piece then along the long side, so the 9 11/16 inch side, and we're going to score it at 6 7/8 and 7. Those are just 1/8 of an inch apart. So again, 6 7/8 and 7 from each side. Okay, so I'm going to rotate it 180 and again do 6 7/8 and 7. Okay, so we've got those 4 score lines, but because we cut this to 9 11/16, that gives us extra room here in the middle for our pocket folder and stuff won't get in the way. There's a method to my madness there. And then I'm going to cut a piece. This is a different pattern, but still from the traditions of St. Nick. We're going to cut a piece to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square. Saving you a crazy measurement there. We'll just do a little trim. That way I don't have to explain if it's portrait or landscape with the pattern. So 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. All right. so the next thing I'm going to do is fold and burnish on all the score lines. Now take your time here because they are super close. They can be a little bit tricky, but just make sure that you're lining up your edges as you fold on those. You just have to kind of coerce that second one that's really close by. That just gives a little bit of space for all the different pockets in our folder. And I kind of just use the my tabletop to kind of give me a little bit of leverage to get that bent on both of those score lines. So see, it's just 1/8 of an inch apart. All right. Now, I'm going to take our designer series paper, the 2 3/4 inch square piece, and I'm going to adhere it right up to the score line on this section here. Now you want your direction to go from top to bottom because this is how that pocket's going to go. All right, so because this, and let me show you on the back, it's going to overhang by, I don't know, it's like 3/16 or something. That's why I decided to just do it square and then we can trim it off. But we're ultimately going to die cut that. So let me grab liquid glue. Because there's a little bit of overhang, I recommend putting adhesive directly onto the cardstock. That way you can kind of control where the adhesive is going. Because otherwise, if you put adhesive on the full panel of the designer series paper, you might get some along that edge that's hanging off. So I'm just going to slide that right into place, right up to that score line. Like so. And again, it's like at the bottom of this panel, but because of the orientation of this, we want to make sure that that pattern's going in the right direction. And then I'll just smooth out that glue. All right, so I'm gonna grab my paper snips. This isn't totally necessary, but I do wanna make sure I can see the edge of the cherry cobbler when we do our next die cut section, okay? So we've got that there. Now, I'm going to grab this die from, let me show you the back side, from the Basic Borders dies. This is in the annual catalog. And we're going to go ahead and line this up right along the bottom here. I'm going to grab my Post-it tape. Where is it? I don't see it. I've got some of this Easy C tape that I'm testing, the highlighter tape. All right, so we're just going to line that up. I've got the point going right up to the edge there, and then making sure that this is basically centered and then coming down the same distance. I'm just eyeballing that. So let me grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to be strategic about where we lay this down. I want to be really careful because that is actually, I'm going to put it at a bit of an angle here. I think that should work. Because that is going to be the full length of, or the full width, I should say, of the die cutting machine. So there we go. We'll run that through. And we only have to go so far as the edge there. I'm just going to go back and forth a couple times. We are cutting through 2 layers of paper there. Let's make sure it cut all the way through. Looks like it. Cool beans. There we go. And then what we have is that really cool stitched edging and that sort of, it looks like the bottom of a hexagon shape there. Kind of a banner end there, okay? Now, I'm gonna wait. We're gonna do a little bit more die cutting, but we gotta do some stamping first. So let me put this off to the side. All right, so Basic Borders dies. I love these because you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different borders that you can create with those. All right, so now we are gonna go ahead and let me grab a Velcro dot. And this is coming eventually. I created a little box for my Velcro dots. I need to make a couple of tweaks, but I will send you, or I will put together some measurements for you. It's like a little glue dot or Velcro dot dispenser. And I love the sentiment. Time spent together is the sweetest, which I thought was hilarious because of my hooks and loops, spending time together on the Velcro dots. All right, so I'm grabbing a Velcro dot. These are the Velcro 5/8 of an inch thin clear fasteners. I have them on my favorites page because they are my favorite. We're gonna go ahead and line this up now. So I like to take the clear side and put it on the flap. And if your Velcro dot is not quite lined up like mine isn't, let me just get that lined up better. There we go. Now I'm going to pull off the backing of the more opaque side, which is the loop side. You just want to pay attention if you're going to fold on the second score line from the left. I want to fold on the first score line from the right. That's going to square up everything and put those Velcro dots right where we want them to go. So I'll repeat that. Second score line from the left. First score line from the right, and then you press everything flat, okay? And then that way, kind of when you slide it into place, just gonna get those popped out a little bit. Those are gonna be perfectly squared up for you there. So that's ready now for us to glue our pocket folder in there, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put liquid glue on the back of our folder. So just the back section. And then, try not to get glue on me. I'm gonna go ahead and now glue this to our, what would you call this? The outside part. But I wanna line up that pocket on both edges and between the score lines. I'm just kind of taking my time. I love liquid glue for this because it allows me to slide everything right where I want it before it's stuck down forever. There we go. And I like to kind of open this and then press from the back here. Come in and burnish a bit. So your pocket comes out this way. Now you could absolutely have it come out from the right if you prefer. You would then just adhere that side. Is that going to work? That wouldn't work. Well, it would actually, no, that would work. It would just be the opposite direction, if that makes sense. Okay. So whichever you prefer, and then that will close like so and hold everything together. Now, I thought about doing a belly band going around this way, but then I realized that the gift cards would slip out the top. So this not only holds our folder together, but also keeps the gift cards or cash or whatever else you put in the pockets totally safe, okay? So I'm gonna do a little bit of stamping here, and let's see. I'm gonna bring out a couple of pieces. First, we're gonna stamp the little Christmas tree on the inside card. Don't want to pour any salt into the wound. This is the stamp set we're using, which is now retired officially, but I'm going to stamp this little tree, and then we're going to do the sentiment, Happy Holidays. The tree in Mossy Meadow, Happy Holidays in Cherry Cobbler. So I just ordered new ink pads. These are my old ones. My Mossy Meadow seems to be really thirsty, so let's see. I just re-inked it before going live, but I got to bust out my new ink pad. That looks all right. Yeah, still pretty thirsty ink pad, but that does give that tree some texture. So this piece of basic white is, I'm gonna have to do this from memory because it's on my project sheet. Hold on. All right, so the basic white is 3.5 by 2 1/4. The real Cherry Cobbler is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. Okay, so we're just gonna layer those two together. with liquid glue. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys love the Velcro dot box. Somehow I knew you would. There we go. So this can be what you can write your little note on for the recipient. Just match it to your designer series paper. So that'll fit in one of the pockets. You can put it in any pocket you want, either the last one, the first one, or any in between, okay? I think I'm gonna put it as the last one there. All right, and then I'm gonna beg, borrow, and steal my pseudo gift cards. Some of them are gift cards. One of them is my Costco card. Probably from when I was a member a long time ago. There we go. So those are the gift cards. Fold those in. Close our little container, our little thing. And the cool thing is the recipient could reuse this as well and regift it, which I love that. So let me grab a scrap of basic white. We've got Cherry Cobbler and Happy Holidays. Believe it or not, I love this stamp set too, but I just got it just before the last chance list published. And I was like, oh, darn it. So Happy Holidays and Cherry Cobbler. Okay. And then I've got kind of an assortment of dies. This one, the stitched one, is from Stylish Shapes. And then these two are from Reach for the Stars. I'm going to grab the smallest for Happy Holidays. And we're going to go ahead and center that. And then we're going to do gold foil. Which I think is still a current product. Some days I can't keep up. Just gonna trim off a little piece here. There's that. And then the stitched circle from Stylish Shapes. I'm just going to cut it. I want to get these all through the machine at once, so I'm just cutting off little scraps here. All right. I put my machine on the floor because that's what my craft room looks like these days. Like a bomb went off in here. Let's go this way. All right, so we've got our gold foil. And I'll tell you the diameters of these circles in just a moment. Mossy Meadow, and then our stamped sentiment. We'll run those through. Oops, that one's being tricky. There we go. All right, so Happy Holidays. And we've got our Mossy Meadow Stylish Shape. We're gonna layer these two together. And then just a little sliver of that gold peeking behind, which I think looks really, really classic. Okay, let me get those out of the way. And we're just gonna use liquid glue for all three. Let's see. There we go. Oh, Lucy, I love that. Something to organize your Medicare and other healthcare cards. I wondered if this would be something helpful. Well, it's certainly something that would bring you joy for otherwise mundane things, right? something handmade. This would be a really cute wallet for sure. All right, so then you want to take a little bit of time or hold this a little bit longer, because putting the liquid glue on the foil just takes a little bit longer because it's a slick surface. But liquid glue does give you a chance to get that little sliver of gold. I love the way that that looks behind the mossy meadow. There's that. I'm gonna grab a trio of dimensionals. These dimensionals are being stubborn. There we go. And then we're just gonna pop that right on the center of the top section. Do that. And then I'm gonna grab one of the gold brushed metallic dots. I love these things. They come in gold, copper, and bronze. So we'll grab one of the smaller ones. We'll pop that right there in the center for a little bit of bling. We've got lots of different gold embellishments to choose from in the store. Get myself tidied up here. I think we've done everything. I stamped the little card. Press that down. So there is our finished accordion gift card pocket folder. Is that what I called it? I think it was. Always ask Brian what I should call things. So we've got a little Velcro closure and then a fun accordion surprise for whoever the recipient is. Again, so many different things you can put in here, little notes, pictures, cash, checks, gift cards, Medicare cards. I think that's a fantastic idea too. Something fun to carry around in your handbag. And there you go, in case you've got any last minute gifting needs, or if you just want to make one of these to save for later. It's obviously a great gift for birthdays, even anniversaries. That would be kind of fun. Different gift certificates to different places for an anniversary. So super, super cute. I was excited to share this with you guys. So that is tonight's project. Again, the project sheet is linked in the description. You can download that right after the live stream. And if you've got any questions, feel free to let me know as well. If you enjoyed tonight's projects, we're going to jump into the Q&A, but take a moment to give us a thumbs up here and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to go ahead and tee up your questions. So if you've got questions tonight, I know I saw a bunch of them coming in, but if you're new here or you come up with a question as we're in the midst of the Q&A, just put a Q before that question. That will make it into my queue. And I'm about 20 seconds ahead of you. There's a little bit of a lag. So if I don't get to your question, it likely came in after I wrapped up the questions on my end, but I do read all of your comments after the live stream. So let me go ahead and get these teed up. And let's see. Almost pushed the wrong button. We got Ramona up here first. Will they sell the glass mat to just customers, you think? So what Ramona's asking about is the Stampin' Glass Mat Studio, which is a perk of joining the Stampin' Up! Family during celebration. So that is January 4th through February 29th. If you purchase a starter kit during that time, you get the Stampin' Glass Mat Studio, which I will show during my sneak peek. They do plan to sell those after celebration if stock still remains. So demonstrators were able to pre-order it for a limited time. They've actually turned off the item number to make sure there's enough of the Stampin' Glass Mat Studios for the celebration time frame, but they do plan to offer it for sale at some point after February. We just don't know exactly the date, so good question. Let's see, how long does it take for you to get all the project shares out? Do you have help? How do you get the ribbon so perfect in the little baggies? Good question, Donna. So it sounds like you actually you might not have participated in my product shares last round. We've completely changed how we store the ribbon. Now before, Brian had created a contraption, you 3D printed it, right? And it was like a ribbon spooler where we would roll them tightly and put them in bags. We used reverse tweezers to kind of help us get it into the bags. That took us a really long time. So Brian and I have designed a special ribbon tag that the ribbon hangs from. It's a great storage solution as well. We did it for the first round in August, and we will do that again this time around. So something a little bit different. It's also a storage option. As far as how long it takes us for the product shares, it usually takes us about a week and a half to process all of them. Brian is my biggest help, and I have a couple other helpers that come help me along the way as well. It's a big production, but I love doing it. One of my favorite parts of the assembly process is actually getting up close and personal with the designer series papers, because I just fall in love with them even more when I'm looking at them a bunch of times over. So I will order the products. The tentative time frame is I'll order the products on January 4th as soon as the catalog goes live. I will probably receive those products early the following week, and as soon as we get those, we inventory and then start cutting and packaging. So my goal is to get those shipped out the week of January 15th. Okay, so great questions. Let's see. You absolutely could, Tina, just make it with only 2 pockets. I'm doing the math. You'd probably need it to be 6.5 by 6. So you'd score it at 1/2 inch from either side, and then right down the middle at 3 inches. So 2 3/4, 2 3/4, that's 5.5. Yep, 6.5 by 6. So yeah, you could absolutely do it with 2 pockets. All right. Pam has a great question. She's been making Christmas cards with the Night Divine dies, the nativity scene. She's made 20 plus, and the paper is sticking in the die more and more. Suggestion? Absolutely. So what I recommend is that you put a piece of wax paper in there between the die and your cardstock. And just cutting it once with wax paper should leave a little bit of the wax behind on the die, and you should find that the cuts after that fall right out of the die. So do the wax paper kind of depends on how many, essentially if it starts to stick again, just put a piece of wax paper in between the cardstock and the die, and that should have that release for you. The other thing you want to make sure that you're doing is popping out any of the paper pieces that might get stuck in the die. The more layers of that get stuck in the die will cause it to hold on to the paper a little bit more. So just make sure you're popping out all those little pieces each time you die cut. But yeah, the wax paper will be your friend, and that should do the trick for you. Let's see, could you put a Ghirardelli chocolate square in 2 of the pockets, or will that make it too bulky? That will make it too bulky with the 1/8 of an inch score line. That's not to say that you couldn't adjust the measurements on that, but I will tell you the amount of time it took me to figure out the measurements, because of the fact that I've got a 1/16 in there, would make it tricky. But yeah, putting in the Ghirardelli squares is going to make this too bulky. Now what you could do is just cut like a 2 3/4 by 11 inch strip, and you could actually kind of manually fold it over the folder. That might do the trick if you really want to put the Ghirardelli chocolates. But again, this was really designed for gift cards, not the Ghirardelli chocolates, but give it a try. The only thing you're going to want to make sure, or the only thing you're going to need to adjust, is basically the wrap around. All right. Okay, so the belly band Terry is 2 3/4 by 9 11/16. Okay, 2 3/4 by 9 11/16. You're going to score that at 6 7/8 and 7 from each side on the long side. Yes, Ramona, is Poppy Parade a brighter color than Real Red? Love to use it for making tags. Poppy Parade, Real Red. So yes, it is brighter and a little bit oranger. Okay. I think it may be looking a little bit more orange on camera, but yeah, Poppy Parade is a brighter red than Real Red. Okay. Yes, Barbara, I do plan to share the Velcro holder instructions, but yeah, it'll probably be after the holidays. She's asking about this little box. I just need to, when I do my own templates, sometimes I need to figure out a way to be able to explain this part to you. So that's the hang up in making sure I can explain that and make it easy to explain so you all can make your own for sure. Ooh, I have not created a box for the Brock peppermint nougats. Have we had those before? No. I'll have to look for them. Their diameter is 1 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick. I was thick. I can't even talk. Thick. I was thinking a 3-pack. I haven't created those, but I'll keep my eye out for them, Anne. My guess is those are just like a holiday thing, but I'll keep my eye out the next time I'm out shopping. Would tea bags fit in the pockets? I don't think so. I don't remember. I didn't tell you the diameters of the circles either. Let me do that now. So the gold circle, before I forget, is about 1 3/4. The mossy meadow is 1 5/8, and 1 1/2 for the white. Those are the diameters. I think that tea bags are wider. I'm trying to think if I have a tea bag nearby. I don't think that. So it's 2 3/4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. I think tea bags are wider. I think they're closer to 3 inches, but absolutely give it a try. You could certainly adjust this as well. I'm not sure that you'd be able to get the full 4 pockets. The 2-pocket one might be a little bit better, but I think if I remember, well, all tea bags are different, basically, the packaging, but they're generally, I think, about 3 inches wide. Let's see. Do I find that I have to chapstick most of your ink pads? I've never chapsticked an ink pad before, believe it or not, Terry. I haven't had any difficulties with the ink pads. I will say brand new ones feel a little bit stiff, but they loosen up the more I open and close them, and I haven't had to put chapstick in them. Chapstick wax, I'm trying to think, it's to basically lubricate the ink pad. Brian's giving me a funny face. He's like, chapstick on ink pads? But no, it kind of lubricates the ink pad so that it opens and closes much easier. I haven't had to do that, Terry, but it's a great suggestion for those that are having difficulty with their ink pads sticking. Wax or chapstick will work for that. But again, opening and closing them fairly often, that kind of breaks them in a little bit as well. The patterned paper on my original gift card holder. Leslie, you're probably talking about the one that I shared behind the scenes for my Pixie patrons. That one was Berry Christmas. As I was designing today, I shared a behind the scenes photo with my Pixie patrons. I think that's what Leslie's asking about. Let's see. All right, got Martha, I see your question about tea bags. I answered that one. Can you make a square gift bag for a Bath & Body candle, the shorter one? So Sherry, you have to give me a little bit more details on which size candle. I do already have a box for, I think it's I don't remember the ounces on the candle, but I've done a gift box for, it's the candle that has, I've done both. I don't remember if I've done the 3-wick. Are you looking, Brian? Okay, Brian's looking to see what he can find. I did do the 3-wick one, and then
candle jar.
Yeah, the candle jar. That might be what Sherry's asking about. I'll keep it in mind as far as a gift bag, Sherry, but I have done a gift box for it. Let's see. Yvette, can you clarify your question? Which ribbon? Or are you talking about maybe how the ribbon is hanging? I don't think I don't have any extra ribbon shares to show you, unfortunately. Yes, Michelle, they did turn off the glass mat for demonstrators. I think that's what you're asking about. They turned it off on yesterday, I think. Yesterday morning, maybe. So it's not available during pre-order anymore, so demonstrators will also have to wait until after celebration for when they bring that back. Product shares, Randy, the payment will be due by January 3rd. That's the deadline for payment. And you should have, if you've signed up for product shares, you should have gotten an email confirmation that has all of the timeline dates for you. All right, we have reached the end of the questions. Thank you guys so much for joining. tonight. If you enjoyed this project tonight or learned a quick tip or trick or two, be sure to give us a thumbs up, like the video down below, and subscribe to the channel, and select all notifications so you'll be notified each time we've got a video coming out for you. We will be live again next Wednesday, December 20th, right? No, yes, December 20th. That will be my last public live stream for the year. I do plan to squeeze in a sneak peek live stream between now and then, so just watch the channel for that. And then I've got my Pixie Patron members only video is next Thursday, December 21st. All right, so that's episode 311 next Wednesday, episode 3 for my Pixie Patrons next Thursday, and I'll squeeze in a sneak peek video somewhere in between, so just keep your eye on the channel. Don't forget, tomorrow is free shipping with Stampin' Up! You can shop with me at thepaperpixie.com/shop. That's free shipping on orders of $75 or more. Take a look at the last chance list. Consider getting a Paper Pumpkin prepaid subscription. 2024 is bringing some great changes to Paper Pumpkin as far as there will be a die add-on for each of the 4 quarters. The die is really cute, and it will coordinate with the next 3 months. They've already revealed the die set for January, February, and March kits, and then they'll have a new die set for April, May, and June, etc. So prepaid Paper Pumpkin is a great thing to get on free shipping. It's a great gift to give to crafty people in your life as well, so keep that in mind. And let's see. Paper shares, or product shares, I should say, the link to sign up and details is in the description. I also have the project sheet linked, and I think that's the scoop. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week. Don't forget, all you need are stamps, ink, and a little paper pixie. And here's a shout out to my Pixie patrons. We're so grateful for your membership. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday. Take care. Bye.